Someone says, what's the future? Vaughn Coleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of Vaughn Coleman Presents. This is a guest I wanted to get on for a long time, but before we get to the fun stuff, let's talk about me, of course, my favorite person. So I have a campaign that is live on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and Fund My Comics. Let me highlight the Indiegogo because that's the only one that hasn't been funded right here. So Phenomenova, for those of you that are just tuning in and haven't heard about it, is set 20 years after World War III and follows the idealistic son of a war hero who is struck by lightning while holding a mysterious crystal and finds himself awakening with lightning powers and lightning speed. So this is going to be the beginnings of what will become a team book, but I really wanted to focus on our main character for issue 1. So if that sounds interesting, definitely check it out. 68 pages of story. 65 pages story, 68 pages total, and it's almost done. We're in the last couple pages getting colored, so we're like right about there. So if you want a book that's going to come around soon, definitely make sure to check this out. And if we had 15K, which we're close to at across all campaigns, everyone will get this piece of art right here as a 6x9 mini print. So definitely check that out. Link is in the description. Just go to my link tree. And without further ado, let's bring in the guest. Art Thibert, how's it going?
Good. How about yourself? Thanks for having me.
Going well, man. Going well. Alex is bringing art, then kick Vaughn. Well, we can't do that. But you're, I saw you got your new Oodles of Doodles campaign up, your sketchbook, which looks great. I mean, it seems like I was, when I first heard your name, I was looking at my shelf and I'm like, oh, I got some stuff by you just right here on the shelf. I mean, correct me wrong, you're like one of the most, I would say probably one of the most prolific inkers of the last, I don't know how many years.
I think there was a list, and you know how somebody compiles like how many books you've worked on, all that kind of stuff. And I think I'm in the top 20 of all time most prolific inker artists. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of stuff. I'm about to get to all the X-Men, New Mutants stuff. I'm like a couple issues away that you did, so I'm excited for that. But I'm also excited to check out your creator-owned stuff. Black and white looks great, and then your new art book looks great too. But I wanted to ask, how'd you first get started in comics?
I really didn't pursue it, which is strange because you hear a lot of stories. It's like, oh, I got rejected, this, that, and the other thing. I, sent samples and all that. I just, I was studying illustration. I wanted to be an illustrator and do album cover rock, bands like, Hildebrandt did, the Mob Rules and, all those kind of artists of the time. And this was also the 70s, so late 70s. And so I was going to school. I met, a teacher introduced me to a guy named Brian Murray, who was doing comic books. He was working for Neil Adams Continuity. And so I just started hanging out with that guy, and he was drawing Megalith, I think it was for Continuity. And I was just a working artist. I was doing logos for bands. I was doing some spot illustration for different companies, and I was just looking for ways to pay my rent. And so he introduced me to a guy named Jim Valentino, who was doing Normal Man at the time. He was also one of the founders of Image Comics, and he needed an assistant. He needed some help. So that's how I got into comic books. Pretty much just wanted to, or needing to pay the rent actually. So when you're young and hungry and somebody's going to pay you to do what you like to do, which is drawing, then you're all about it. So it wasn't quite drawing what I wanted at the time, but it was a very, very cool thing. And 40 years later, I'm still doing it. So, sometimes life pushes you in the direction you need to be.
That's awesome. That's so there we go. That's really interesting. So you never did you grow up reading comics or not really?
Yeah, what I did is when I was young, I mean, I grew up in the '60s, so the Adam West Batman thing was big. So I was that generation that was like Batmania, and so that was my gateway to like Batman comic books, and then just Batman to Superman to the Marvel stuff to just the whole world. So I read comic books till my teens probably, and so then girls, cars, rock and roll, all that kind of stuff happened. And so I kind of moved away, but I still always drew. I drew comic books when I was a kid. I drew cartoon stuff when I was a kid, and even in my teens, I still drew pictures. But I was getting more into like illustrations, like I said, like novel covers and album covers and things like that. And so I wasn't really pursuing comic books. I was more pursuing illustration. And I worked for Bridge Publication, who was they published all the oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of the what was that guy's name? He had like the cult, the church. He died. Oh my
Jim
god.
Jones?
No. He did Battlefield Earth. He wrote Battlefield Earth. He was a sci-fi writer, and then he founded Scientology.
Oh, L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard, yeah. So Bridge Publication was, thank you, L. Ron Hubbard's company. And so I did a lot of illustration, paintings, things like that for that company.
Did they ask you to join?
No, they did not. They never
that's
asked.
So rude.
Yeah, it was. I felt insulted. They were a really nice group of people. Everybody I dealt with was really professional, very generous. And they paid me well. So my first official paycheck, like, big time paycheck, was from Bridge Publication. So I still, you Xerox your first check. So I Xeroxed it. I got it somewhere in a frame.
That's awesome. So you did that, and then it looks like, I mean, you did a lot. Who were your biggest inspirations as an artist?
Well, I have ones that continue. So, initially I really liked Neil Adams, George Perez, those guys, Gil Kane, John Byrne. And so as I continued, working in the business and stuff, you're just you keep your eye open for, what's selling, what's not, who's doing what. So I just became kind of a student of style, of who's doing what. And as an inker, you kind of learn to emulate style, or you just kind of, don't work. So, you kind of become a chameleon. So, but I always studied pencilers. I didn't study ink line. I studied pencilers. And so I broke in at Marvel and DC on the same day, and I started working as an inker at Marvel and a penciler at DC. So I kind of covered both bases on the same day. So I never think of myself as just one or the other. It's just kind of an artist that draws comic books,
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure too that, because I know a lot of inkers start off wanting to be pencilers, or even just, I mean, generally speaking, it seems to me like most pencilers want to ink and like ink their own stuff, and most inkers want to pencil their own stuff. So, is this with your independent stuff the first time you were really able to do both?
No, I always did both. So when I worked at DC, I penciled and inked my own work.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was never like one or the other. The only time I gave up inking my own stuff was just time restraints.
Right. That tends to be, I know the reason. I'm looking at, because I know I only have one of your DC books, but which DC books did you pencil and ink?
I first started working on The Warlord. So that was early DC stuff, kind of sword and sorcery. And then I did some Teen Titans Spotlight stuff with Aquaman, Aqualad. And then I got a maxi series, 8 issues. It was called Time Masters. And that TV show Worlds of Tomorrow or whatever it was loosely based on that series I did.
Oh, Legends of Tomorrow?
Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah, that was
Gotcha.
it. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So all that Time Master stuff and everything, a lot of that came from that storyline. So I got a nice royalty check from that TV show.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I've heard that DC generally pays their talent with royalties at least much better.
Yeah. Well, when I worked at Marvel, they didn't even call them royalties; they were incentives.
Oh, that's nice.
They weren't even legally bound to giving you, any back end money.
Yeah, no, I hear that all the time. I was especially with. Did you create any of the characters for Legends of Tomorrow? Like,
yeah, I don't know if they used them in the show. I never really watched the show, but there were a lot of characters that I created for Time Masters, the comic book.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean the show. I watched for one season. I was like, that's okay. It's all right. But I don't know, man. Like, it's once I started getting into the comics, I just feel like most TV shows don't hold up to the comics. I don't know.
I agree.
I mean, it also doesn't help that the writers, you could just tell, really don't care, or a lot of the people really don't care. But so did you prefer to work for DC, or did it just depend on the project?
It depended on the editor. The project. I never really had too much of a preference between Marvel and DC. In the early days, they were both about the same. Marvel paid a little bit better than DC. So, if it was about the money, which let's face it, it kind of was. Yeah. I did a lot of early work, at Marvel just because it paid a little bit well or better. And the DC stuff was, not so much as far as page rate, and then as far as royalties or back end money. So
that's really cool. And so it must have been. I mean, when you got on X-Men, because it was obviously after Byrne and all those like after Byrne had left. I mean, long after Neil Adams had left. But did you feel like, because I know you were an inker, but was it like an exciting series for you to get on?
Yeah, I knew Jim Lee and I knew Wills. I knew those guys prior to the X-Men stuff, so it was more of like working with those guys.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't as a fan. I liked the X-Men, but I was more of like a Teen Titans guy.
Mm-hmm.
I always think of the Teen Titans as like the DC equivalents to the X-Men. Just as far as younger kind of like heroes. And so it wasn't really the X-Men that I was excited about. It was just working with those guys. Gotcha. And also those books usually sold a little bit better than the books, that I was working on. Even though I was working on Superman, the Marvel stuff, the X-Men stuff paid better.
Yeah. I mean, that was such a crazy, like you hopped on right at the boom, which is, I mean, that's such a perfect time.
I was there before the boom. So I was there like kind of as the boom was booming.
Well, but I mean, even before that, what I mean is like as in the series had gone from because I'm going back and reading Claremont's run, it's so interesting seeing how it goes from like a failing series to suddenly late 80s, boom, now there's 5 titles, right? And then they keep adding. And so it became, I mean, a lot to keep up with, but it's just crazy how much stuff came out of that era.
My introduction to the X-Men was I got to ink Shoemaker. What was his first name?
Oh, Terry Shoemaker.
Shoemaker, yeah, and Art Adams. So I think they were annuals, like X-Men.
Yeah. I have it right here. Hold on. It was X-Men Annual 14, I think. That Art Adams. Which pages did you do for that one?
Oh my gosh, Vaughn. I don't remember yesterday.
I'm just curious. Because I love it. I think it's a great annual, man. I love Art Adams' stuff. I mean, obviously it's unparalleled. His stuff is so good. But that was crazy. I was looking at the credits, I'm like, oh my God, they got 4 inkers for this one book.
Yeah, like things get behind, and Art Adams is he's not a fast penciler, so usually things go down to the wire,
Yeah.
as far as deadlines. So then it was a many hands, but it was you take chance with new people, when your back's against the wall, and so I'm really thankful that they did, and then just I don't know how many months later or whatever, because I worked for DC and Marvel at the same time. Like my whole career was pretty much just going back and forth or working at both companies at the same time. So I think I was working with Walter Simonson on some Fantastic Four, and then I was still doing Adventures of Superman, working on that. And then, Jim Lee, I think, saw my work on Superman and, told Bob Harris to give me a call. And so he did. And then I inked some of Jim's Uncanny. So this was before the X-Men book and all that other stuff. So I did an issue or two of Uncanny with Jim, and then started inking Whilce Portacio and X Factor. So this was before, all the, like you said, the 5 X-Men books and all that other stuff. Because I think there were only 3. I think there was Wolverine, there was X-Men, or Uncanny X-Men, and then there was X Factor, I think.
It was Wolverine, X-Men, X Factor, Excalibur, and New Mutants.
Okay, yeah, New Mutants, yeah.
So, because I know you did work all those except for Excalibur, I think, right? You never did.
Yeah, I never worked on Excalibur.
Yeah, I mean, and then I'm curious. So when you're an inker, which, like you said, you were a chameleon. So did you feel like you really didn't get to do your own style when you were an inker? Is it more just staying faithful? Because I know some inkers tend to see themselves more as embellishers, whereas others generally see it as strictly inking. Like, how do you approach a job as an inker?
Well, being just kind of a creative person, like I said, I never thought of myself as one or the other, or just, any of that. So for me, I just kind of did my own thing. And also when I really started inking, I was asked to do finishes on Adventures of Superman, which is like a penciler gives you breakdowns. It's just outlines of stuff. There's no shading. Sometimes there's not even any detail. There's no hatching. It's kind of like a coloring book image, just a lot of outlines, and sometimes very sketchy at that. And so DC knew that I could pencil, and so they asked me to do finishes over Dan Jurgens on the Superman book. So I didn't really know what finishes was. I was hanging out with my roommate was John Moore, and he was Howard Chaykin's writing assistant, later writing partner. And so I was hanging out at the Chaykin studio, and I asked Howard, like, what is a finisher? He goes, basically, you can do whatever the hell you want. And so I was like, oh, shit. So you tell a creative person that, you know what I mean? Then they just go crazy. And so what I did is I was beholden to the line, but not like it was actual, like, in stone. So I did my own thing over the course of issues, over the course of months, over the course of years. And so I think I developed a style of my own over Dan Jurgens pencils. So, and that's what got me noticed. I think I was up for a couple awards that year that I first started working on that. I didn't win them, but yeah, I think one was Eisner and Kirby. I think they had a Kirby award at the time. And so there was that. And then that's how I got the notice, like Jim was looking at that and stuff. And I think it was because what I was doing was kind of along the lines of what Jim Lee was doing, like his influences stuff. And I think he could see that in my work, even though I was inking over a penciler, but it was, it kind of dictated the style of the book. So then just to answer your question, I never really thought of myself as just the guy that went over the lines. You know what I mean? Like I always wanted to be a guy that brought something more to the work than just that. And also I started at a time where pencilers didn't pencil real tight, so the inker kind of had to have some drawing ability to finish it up. And so I was kind of in this strange area where I wasn't quite an inker, and I was a penciler, but I didn't pencil that much because I needed to pay the rent, so I could work faster as an inker. So and you get paid more to do finishes than just normal inks.
Mm-hmm.
So that was always a bonus. So I got hired to do a lot of like finishes. So even when I worked later on the X-Men with Jim Lee and Whilce Portacio, some of it's not credited, but I was doing finish work over Jim Lee and over Whilce Portacio on X-Men and Uncanny, where they were just giving me outlines. So all that crazy hatching and all that stuff that was, of that time, I was making that stuff up whole cloth. It didn't exist, So, there was always that. I never thought of myself as just the guy that covers lines. I always try to bring something to the table.
Yeah, and because I have a bunch of your stuff. Let's see. Okay, so you did the first 3 of this Huntress year 1.
Yeah, who's the artist on that? That's
Cliff
the guy.
Richards, the Ripperverse guy.
Yeah, he's doing the Ripperverse now. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was looking at this, I was like, wait a minute. I just pulled this off. I'm like, oh my god, I know who these people are. That happens sometimes. Like I'll be like looking at a stream and I'm like, wait a minute. I think I know who that is.
That's the same guy. Yeah.
So that's so interesting. And now you got your own stuff. Did you have, I noticed you, of all X-Men characters, I was just curious, got my attention. You picked Jubilee to be the one for the right here. Is she a favorite of yours or something?
My wife liked the drawing, so she was like, we got to use that for the campaign. So it was more just my wife really liked the drawing.
Mm-hmm. I was curious.
Yeah.
I got into because I just got to her like first, because she was brand new when you came on, so that's why I was wondering.
Yeah, she was like Wolverine's Robin, like,
yeah.
I think she even had the Robin colors initially, right? Like the red, yellow, and green.
She was, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like because Kitty Pryde is away, so they needed a new girl sidekick for Wolverine, and that's what I think Jubilee was.
Yeah. So I think as far as creating X-Men, there was a character named Hazard, and it was in 12 and 13 that I penciled and inked of X-Men. I followed Jim Lee when he left, and there's a character named Hazard, and he was Fabian Nicieza and my creation. And then there was a lot of Cable characters that Fabian and I created too for the series that I penciled and he wrote.
Oh man, Art, looks like they killed off Hazard.
Oh, did they?
Am I the first one to break the news to you?
The bitches.
Yeah, I just looked him up. I'm like, oh, when did he first? Because it's like a human. It's like they have a birth and death date. So he's dead.
They didn't want to pay me any royalties, those sons of bitches.
Yeah, that's tragic. Let's see how he died. Man, that's sad.
Did he die in that issue? I don't even remember.
No, he had a good life.
He had a good life.
He lasted until, I don't know, what the hell did he do? He was mysteriously killed while guards were trying to sedate him. That's kind of mundane.
He was mysteriously killed.
Wait, let me Hazard death. Yeah, so wait, we don't know how he died?
I don't.
Yeah. Oh my! All right, so I guess he got injected with something and just died.
How do you just inject a mutant?
I don't know.
Crazy powers, you get that close to him.
I don't know. I just found out he existed, and I'm sorry to break the news to you.
Yeah, well,
no royalties for you.
One more reason not to like Marvel.
Yeah, so rest in peace.
No, it was good times. I think there was a trading card. I got to do a trading card, so there was some licensing stuff done. Not a whole hell of a lot, but just enough to make me kind of feel good at the time.
That's
until
good.
Years later they killed him.
Yeah, well, I mean, so to make Art feel better, let's make sure we back his book. Is Hazard drawn in here?
No. You know what? I did get a commission of the character, so I could put that in the book. That would be fun.
Yeah. Well, all right. So I just found my information on Google, Alex. I didn't actually read this thing, but it looks like they just injected with something and he died. It could be, maybe it was more interesting than that. But yeah. So we got She. Oh, this She is great. Wow. Yeah, you got to show Billy. That might make him jealous.
Yeah, I think Billy's going to use it for something. So I sent it to Billy, and he made, I don't know, make a trading card out of it or something. Yeah.
That's so. Yeah, I was reading the Senryaku. Did you know Billy back then when he was doing Senryaku?
No, actually, I knew of him, but I didn't really hang out with him in the day, like in the 90s and stuff like that. To be honest, I mean, Billy was such a huge sensation, you couldn't even get close to him anyway.
Really?
He had like the sheep booth, and I think he had Tia Carrera at the booth at one point. Like, yeah, Billy was like a mover and shaker. Yeah.
Wow. Look at that. Yeah, it was so crazy. I mean, he got so many people in this that at last that I was at Heroes Con, I was just getting this just signed by like anyone I could get that worked on it. Let's see. Then we got Kevin Nolan has some good things to say about you. That's cool. It's pronounced Nolan, right?
Yeah, it's Nolan. It's said just the same way as Graham's, but I think it's got a D on the end, right? Nolan.
No, it's just Nolan.
Oh, with the N. Okay.
You don't know his name spelled? He said this nice thing about you. Come on.
Pay attention,
man.
In.
So we got Cable. Did you have a favorite X-Men character to draw?
Aside
from Hazard
that they killed. Sons of bitches. No, I mean, it's always Wolverine, right? It's got to be Wolverine. So Wolverine was always the favorite to draw. And then, like it's kind of old school, like Scott Summers, Cyclops.
Oh yeah, those are the Cyclops. I'm an adamant Cyclops defender, and so many people think Cyclops is just this garbage character, and he's not. He's a great character, but I think editorial screwed him over.
Yeah, who writes him? And I think they mistake, like, because he's got so much power and the restraint. Mm-hmm. Like they think that's like he's weak just because he doesn't really unleash. Like Wolverine can unleash, but he's just hey man, he's just got the strength of like a normal human being, maybe a little heightened. But you got somebody like Cyclops. That dude's got the power to like level a city. So yeah. I always thought. Some people just think he's weak because he doesn't really use that ability like a psycho. Maybe if he did use it, unleash a little bit more often, they'd think he was a badass. But I always thought because of that, he was even more heroic.
Well, it's that, and it's also editorial screwed him over because they decided right after he got married that they were going to bring his dead girlfriend back, and then he was going to leave his and apparently like Chris Claremont, that wasn't his decision at all. They just were like, nope, she's back, and it's like, well, what do you do now? So that was the thing. Yeah, I think it always seems to me like the people that hate Cyclops are just huge Wolverine fans, and I like Wolverine too, but I don't hate Cyclops. I don't know.
Yeah. I like all the original X-Men with the Lee Kirby stuff, with the exception of probably Angel.
What? Angel? How do you like Angel?
I don't know, man. He's like a Hawkman wannabe or something,
Yeah. Well, I think he became useless as soon as they started introducing characters who could fly and do other things.
Yeah.
Because suddenly it was like, well, all right, so Storm can create a hurricane. And Banshee could do his sonics, and Angel just he's rich though, so that's a power.
Yeah,
he's money.
A type of power, yeah.
But so does Professor X, so that's not even unique.
Yeah, you're right. Like out of the original X-Men team, he was the only one that could fly, so there was an advantage, and there was something he was bringing to the team. But yeah, once you create other characters that can fly, then he's just kind of like this guy with bird wings. Yeah.
Well, that's what Louise Simonson told me was part of the reason why she just kind of like ruined his life and made him Archangel, is because they needed to do something with him.
Yeah, Archangel's a badass character.
Yeah, I
I
love
like
Archangel.
Archangel. Yeah, but the Angel character with the actual wings, I thought it was an interesting mutant power that he had actual bird wings. That was his mutation. But other than that, yeah, it was just kind of strange.
Yeah. And so these have prints that come. So let's walk through the tiers on this. So we got this one comes in 11 by 17 print.
Yeah, because I can't see what you're looking at. So yeah, so there's the featured,
Here.
which is all 6 of the prints plus 11 by 17. Keep in mind all the books are signed and numbered. So it's going to be a limited print run, and they're all going to be signed and numbered. Then there's the book itself, once again signed and numbered. Then there is the signed and numbered book with the pit print. And then the next tier is the signed and numbered book plus that Juju print. And that's a 30th anniversary commemorative black and white print. She's going to be the big bad in the upcoming black and white storyline. So I did the drawing as a commission, and I like the way it came out so much. I had it colored and everything, and just thought, this might be a nice thing to add in the campaign, and also, kind of early, to let people know what they can expect with the upcoming Black and White Volume 3, Sins of the Father, which will come out in October. Actually, that's the same month as the original book came out, which was 1994. So we're gonna be launching the new series in October.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll be a nice little callback. And then here's the set A, which is the 3 prints plus the book. Here's the B set. So we thought we gave you a little bit of variety. And so far, no backers for those because we still have the early birds up. So we have the early bird A, and so we're 6 out of 20. And I just want to encourage everybody. This comes with the pit print, so it's a $10 value that you're getting absolutely free with this early bird. And these are coming down at the day's end. So at the end of the day, these are going bye-bye. So if you want to save a little bit of, you're saving money, but you're getting an extra print as well. And so then we have the early bird, and this is all 6 prints plus the 11 by 17 Juju and the pit print. So once again, you're getting a $10 value, which is the pit print for nothing.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, it's cool, man. That print came out awesome, and this CG audience is so cool. And Dale gave his blessing, on letting me use his character Pit, and that's awesome.
Who did you color this, or who colored this?
The piece that the cover, no, that's Thomas Mason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so those are my pencil and inks, and Thomas Mason, who I wanted to get to do the actual series because he's so good, and we had a pretty good working relationship, but he just couldn't get past the CG aspect, so he decided to bail on the job.
Who's this, Mason?
His name's Thomas Mason. Yeah, he's brilliant. Yeah, he's really, really good. And so then we have the head sketches that are on the flyleaf, and this is the 30th anniversary as well. So it's a commemorative. So these are the new power suits that will be drawn for these sketches in the fly. Which one? Let me see. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. So we got 2 of those. So that's the white have gone. And so then we also have both of them, black and white. So if you can't decide between black or white, you can get both. And then we have the commission. We have the 9x12 head sketch. We just actually got a backer for this today. So there's 4 more. These things sell out pretty quick. And then we had an 11 by 17 that we sold out for as well.
Nice. So how limited? So this seems like a very limited book. Is it a limited print run?
Yeah, it's going to be limited for collectability. This is like this. This is the second printing, but this is a different. Like, it's going to be a different book. So there's going to be a lot of different interiors, new interiors. A lot of those that are posted there, like the Billy Tucci one, and the one with Captain Kirk, with the Cyber Frog and Gem Shock. Yeah, if you keep going, yeah, these ones here. Like that one right there, that's a new double page. So yeah, Gem Shock's in there, Mandy Summers' character. There's John Malin's character, Lilith from Graveyard Shift, and then of course Ethan Van Sciver's awesome character, Cyber Frog. So there's going to be a lot of CG artwork in here. Like I said, there's also, you know, Billy Tucci's She character. You know,
who's Gigantor?
Gigantor is an old, probably 70s, 60s, 70s.
Is it bad that I don't know that?
No, I mean, you're a young kid. It would be weird if you did know it.
Okay.
It's like a pop icon stuff, you know. Gigantor, the giant robot, Japanese. You know, it was Japanese. It was a Japanese show, I should say.
Gotcha. And then we got Cable here.
Yeah, early 90s. So I was the penciler on the ongoing series. And so this was promotional work that was done for the series. And I think that made the Diamond distributor cover. And later Marvel made that into a retail poster. But this version, these two versions, they've never been seen outside of this book. So that's a digital re-ink version. And then the great Thomas Mason colored the one on the right-hand side. So these are new, and they'll be featured in this book. So those were never published or anything. I just did them for, you know, just to do.
That's cool.
Just to do.
That's all. And how many pages is this book? This book is...
What was that? I'm sorry?
How many pages is the sketch?
It's 60. It's 60 pages. That's good. And it's 9 by 12, and it's hardbound.
That is a very good sell.
Yeah, so it's coffee table size. It's a beautiful, beautiful looking book. This is the second printing, like I said, but there's going to be a lot of new stuff in it. So it's not going to be, you know, like content wise, I would say a third of this book is going to be new. So it's going to have a lot of like my newer work, things like that. The original printing sold out, completely sold out. I think there were 500 printed. And some of those you can find on eBay for $100, $120. I think the lowest I've seen the book sell for was like $69 on eBay. So there is a little bit of a collector market. And the reason I brought this back out is because you guys were like, how can I get this book? And I was like, I don't have any more, you know. So I thought I'd print some more. So.
And for people that aren't able to get or haven't gotten black and white, I apologize. You know, maybe talking about myself. What's the best way for people to get that?
That campaign is gone. So it's not up anymore. We may do a second chance campaign, or when we launch black and white in October, we'll offer it again, because I do have a few extra copies I printed of Volume 1 and Volume 2. So nice. We'll probably do that in that 30th, you know, commemorative launch of Volume 3.
It's good. All right. Yeah, I'll definitely be looking forward to that. The black and white. That book. So you mentioned 30th anniversary, because obviously it's newer to me, but black and white. So when did it come out? Like, was it under another publisher? Was it under Image or?
Yeah, it came out in 1994 through Image Comics, and there were 3 issues. That was the original miniseries, and then a year later we launched an ongoing, which was called Codename Black and White. And we only got one of those books out because the market kind of crashed around that time. And so we couldn't really afford to continue with it, even though I have 2 issues. There's a Volume 2 and a Volume 3 that are done and never came out. So maybe I'll do something with those in the future. But I had to kind of leave Image, and then I went back to Marvel for a more secure, existence, something that I knew was going to be there, because Image was in a lot of flux. Like there was a lot of craziness going on, and I was working out of Rob Liefeld's Extreme Studios. And so I just figured, like, it's every man for themselves. So there was a lot of people that were jumping off ship over there, and there was a lot of uncertainty. So I knew Marvel was going to be around, so I went back there.
Yeah, it sounds like it was a crazy time then.
Yeah. And it's funny because when I went back to Marvel, I had to kind of eat a lot of crow and work on a lot of books that were really crappy. But I only did that for a short period of time. And then Andy Kubert, who was working on X-Men, who's the guy that followed me on X-Men when I left to go to Image, I ended up inking him when I came back. So you talk about just like strange small world type things.
That is crazy. And so did you, after the 90s, did you get to ink Jim Lee at all again?
I inked not after the 90s. I did ink him when Wildstorm, like on some of the Wildcat stuff and different things. I inked him, on and off, but I don't think anything into the 2000s.
Okay. So nothing into the 2000s. Gotcha.
Yeah, nothing at DC.
Yep. And then we got, okay, so because I always see Scott Williams, it's almost weird seeing anyone else's name next to Jim Lee as an inker at that point. I don't know. Like, it's like him, Sinclair, and Williams. It's like always those three I see together. So that's why I was just curious if anyone's even allowed, basically, to think.
Yeah, once you get a team like that going, you don't really mess with it too much. And but in the early days when we all worked together, there were two teams.
Mhm.
There was either Jim and Wills, Jim Lee and Wills, working on one of the X books, and then they would either team up with Scott or myself. So Scott and I jumped back and forth between inking Jim Lee and Wills Portacio in the early days.
That's really cool. Richie Dupe also asked if you colored the art at the pyramids of Giza, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was some of my early early.
Okay.
Yeah,
heard that. It's interesting.
Yeah, I've been alive forever.
Long storied career, so I've heard.
Yeah. Early cave drawings. Yeah.
That's good. So you've had a lot of influence then. Can we expect cave paintings in this sketchbook?
No.
Oh, you saving that for the next one?
Possibly, yeah. But the thing about cave paintings is they're hard to reproduce. You know what I mean?
Right.
Big piece of rock.
You
can't really
camera.
Yeah, you can't really scan them, on a flatbed or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we believe you. We believe you.
I didn't make up half the shit. Like either people I stream with or people in the chat.
I know. Well, Graham was telling me that you're only like 1 year older than him.
Not even 1 year. I'm like a month. I'm like a month older than him. I think we broke into comics the same year. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, no, because in all honesty, everyone else was saying it, so it was like monkey see, monkey do. So
I don't mind it. And the thing is, like, if Graham didn't lose all his hair, he'd look older. Because it'd be all gray like mine.
Yeah. Is that's your excuse?
Yeah, I think if I dyed my hair or shaved my head, I think I would look a lot younger.
So then we got
wait a minute. I just get a It's like you didn't believe. Like
no, I believe you. I believe you.
That was doubt. I didn't like that.
No,
I gotta go now, Vaughn.
Okay, that's good. Well, listen, no, you gotta. I think. Well, I'm wondering. Do you think Billy Tucci would look younger bald?
Maybe.
We should ask him to try it. We should ask him to try it.
I don't think Billy looks old, though.
I don't think so either, but I'm wondering if by these standards, if he would look younger. I think you know what? You and Billy need to pay respect to your fellow professionals, and all of you need to go bald together.
Well, did you ever see the show that we did, The Professionals, where Billy and I wore a bald cap?
No, I have to. All right, you have to send me that. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, we wore bald caps, so we'd be, six bald, 6 strong,
Yeah, or they could go. They could just, you can make them grow hair. Make them wear wigs.
Yeah, they could wear a wig, but I don't think I can make them grow hair.
No, refuse to stream with them until they figure out a way to grow hair.
To grow hair, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I command you to grow hair.
Yeah, until you do, no money for you, no backer money.
Yeah.
You have to grow hair.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of power, Vaughn,
No,
but I do appreciate that you think I do.
Well, you have industry influence, so I figured, you have influence on all aspects.
On all aspects, yeah.
So we got the new Teen Titans Nightwing. I always assumed this was a 70s costume because it looks disco, and it's not, it's 80s. But why, I don't know. I always liked, no, it's different. It's not the new Teen Titans design, is it? Because the new Teen Titans.
No, it's not the George Perez design. I think, what was his name? Tom, I can't remember his last name now. I'm horrible with names. And it's not just because I'm old. I've always been horrible with names. But the editor was John Peterson, and he was doing a lot of new stuff with the Teen Titans. And so he asked Tom Grummett, maybe it was Tom Grummett, and I to design new character, costumes for for Dick Grayson. And so based on the editorial description, we both came up with designs, and they were almost identical.
Wow.
So it was pretty cool. And so I got to do some early Nightwing drawings. I did a pinup or a cover, and I did a retail poster with this design on it. So I was also slated to write pencil and ink a Nightwing miniseries around the same time. So that's kind of when all that Nightwing, redesign and stuff started happening.
That's cool. So yeah, that was it's Nightwing. I remember because I always grew up with the did Scott McDaniel design the Nightwing we know today? Who designed that one?
I don't know, but it's similar to this. No. I know the design you're talking about.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah, it doesn't have the gold in it. It's more of like a what is it? It's like a dark and a light blue or something.
I realized I had this full screen for I forgot how long because we were looking, so we were on screen for a while. Yeah, that one. But then I remember being shocked when I was reading the old comics. I was like, oh my god, what the hell were they thinking with the? I like George Perez's design, so maybe it was just but at the time I was kind of surprised. But that design I don't think I've ever seen before. This one right here.
It was maybe a decade or so. I think it kind of ruled supreme, and it was kind of a take on the Disco Elvis suit. So it still had that kind of weird blue color. So the gloves and the boots still had that original, whatever that blue color is, which was kind of strange. And then he had that collar and everything, kind of bizarre. We called it the Disco Elvis.
So I have a question. You have a book called Black and White. Why is are you ever going to do a black and white version of the book?
I don't know. A lot of people have asked about it, but I don't know if people are really up to back a black and white book.
It's so weird how people will be like, yes, manga, but then they see a black and white comic book and they're like, no. I don't get it, but I don't. It's a weird thing too. I can't tell you how many people I've met at comic book fans. A lot of them can read manga and be fine, but there's a lot of manga fans that will be like, "Yeah, I don't read comics. I only read manga." I'm like, "What's the difference? It's pictures."
Yeah, pictures and balloons. Yeah, it's the same thing.
I guess they can only read from right to left. I don't know.
There are people that they're like Marvel zombies, and they're like, I don't read DC. Like,
Yeah.
There's even that in the in the mainstream, comic book stuff, world where, people try to make those distinctions. I was like, I'll read anything as long as it's good. I don't know where it came from. Yeah, a good story. Good story.
I'm the same way. I just give me a good story and treat the customer with respect, and that's really it. That's really it.
That's all you need. That's all you need. Yeah. So you guys, like I said, with that early bird, get in there today because it is coming down later tonight.
What time?
You can get that free pit print, which will come with those 2 early birds. So get on it.
Yeah, definitely. This looks great. This looks really good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, and another thing is those commissions. When I'm in campaign mode, which where you're campaign and you're creating the book at the same time, I don't take commissions. So if you guys want to commission me, there's 4 headshots left. So it's the only place you're really going to be able to get me to do a drawing for you, and that's a character of your choosing. So I'll draw any character as long as it's not your own IP or nude.
Man.
Yeah.
No nude headshots.
Yeah, I guess that sounds a little weird. Yeah, but it's a little bit more. It's kind of it's not quite a headshot. There's a little bosom there. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
A nude headshot. What would that be like?
just be bald. Make him bald.
Yeah, you'd make him bald. Yeah.
And shaved eyebrows. So that way you can't even tell what character it is.
Or yeah. What was that? There's a character in the Avengers. Was it Moondragon or something? She's all bald.
What? When was this?
There's a character. I think she's in the Avengers, or was. This is years ago. I think her name was Moondragon. She had this really sexy green outfit, and it was like just this plunging neckline that went all the way to her crotch. Just kind of crossed here. And I think she had like a green hood. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But when I was a kid, she showed way more skin than that.
Yeah, Moondragon. Okay.
Yeah, she was practically nude.
See, this is what they took from us, Marvel and DC. All right. I want you to remember this. Now, Thibert is trying to give it back to you guys, so make sure you back this book.
Yeah, sexy. But you know what? I always thght, like, even as a kid, I was like, if you really wanted to make her sexy,
why did you take her hair? Well, at least she has eyebrows.
Yeah, she does have eyebrows. Yeah.
Oh no, not anymore. Never mind.
Never mind. Yeah, I don't know that version.
And then, I would read these old comics, and I'd be like, "Oh, these characters. Some of them looked cooler back in the day." But
well, definitely sexier. Yeah,
a lot of them. Oh yeah, Jim Starlin. Okay, yeah, I guess that's a good question for Jim Starlin. Why is she bald?
Maybe Jim Starlin thinks bald women are sexy.
Well, why are you covering up her hair? White's hair.
Well, in the new version, I set it free. So if you go down to those headshots that I offer, she's got the sides down, side back. See it?
Oh yeah.
And she's got a ponytail that's coming out of the top of the helmet there. So
nice.
So yeah. I listen, Vaughn. I know.
I know. Messing with you. I'm just messing. What is the So are there any characters you didn't get to draw at the big 2 that you wanted to?
You know what? It used to kind of be one of those bucket list things, but I think the longer I'm in CG and the longer, I'm hanging out with, cool people like you and everybody in the chat, and I don't really have those aspirations anymore. But like the 10 year ago me would have said, the Hulk, I would have liked to do a run, on the Hulk, maybe a year or 2. The Avengers, I never did the team book. I was slated to do the Avengers with Michael Bendis and Dave Finch.
Oh,
but that was just before I got fired, so that never happened. And so I think like Thor was always like one of those cool characters when I was a kid, but I don't know. There was like the Buscema stuff. There was the Simonson stuff. But Thor, unless it was the right artist and writer, I don't think I would want to work on that book. But it would depend on the circumstances for me to work on Thor. Yeah. And then I think I pretty much did. I worked on every character except that. Even Iron Man, I did a small run on. Captain America, I did with Dan Jurgens for about a year. So most of the Marvel characters I worked on. Over at DC, I never did a Justice League book. So that would have been cool with like the cool Justice League team, not like, Justice League Detroit or one of those kind of secondary, casts. And
Justice League Detroit, they'd have a lot of crime to tackle.
They got a lot of crime, yeah, and obviously they don't have good drinking water either, so they should probably take that problem first.
That'd be a really riveting comic book. Justice League decontaminates the water.
Yeah, it would take Superman like an hour. He'd fix it.
Yeah, or Aquaman. Get Aquaman to do it.
Aquaman can't fix the water.
That's the one thing he could probably do.
No, he just swims. He doesn't fix water.
Well, he can't. I mean, I'm sure if he really tried.
What is he? He could filter it out with his gills, right? He could like suck in the polluted and then like, I guess.
Well, if it was a modern writer, they'd probably just have him hold a protest sign. Honestly, and just have him.
Probably, yeah.
Can you guys fix the water, please?
Could somebody fix the water? Because I can't. If anything, Aquaman probably does, a number 1 and a number 2 in the water. So if you think about it, he is the problem.
Well, I guess. So who would you put on your Justice League lineup?
I would go to the original Brave and Bold team up. I would keep Superman and Batman out of it. I would do Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, Flash, Wonder Woman. Who else was in it? Flash, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman. I know I'm missing one. Was it the Atom? I don't remember. Maybe the Atom came out later, but it was the original Brave and Bold team because I thought that was the best. I always think Batman doesn't really belong in the Justice League. 1, he's a lone wolf, and 2, he doesn't have any superpowers, so that's superpower team. Well, good. Maybe there should be more discrimination. Get that guy.
All right, you heard that. I'm gonna put that as a quote in the book. Maybe there should be discrimination. Creator of Black and White.
Don't give people any ideas. They'll come up with them on their own. There's enough people that want to see me not succeed. But anyway, like Batman's money, Bruce Wayne's money, I think, could be good for the Justice League, but not that guy. And Superman, if you have Wonder Woman and you have Martian Manhunter, why do you need to? Oh, I remember the other character, Aquaman. Aquaman was in the original team.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it was the original 7 was Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman.
But I'm talking about the original team that fought Starro in Brave and Bold.
Right. So that was those guys minus Superman and Batman.
Right. And then like Hawkman and Atom. And
did they join after that?
There they are right there. Yeah, they came after that. And I didn't mind those guys being added. I think Green Arrow is a strange character. He uses a bow and arrow. These guys can deflect bullets. I don't know what kind of impact he's going to have. But yeah, I like.
He has money.
Does it?
He has money. Yeah, Green Arrow has money.
So then we don't even need Batman then.
Yeah, so that's just Green Arrow could just be the new Batman.
Yeah, so he
lost his money in the 70s, so then that goes out the window.
Yeah, so he could only fund them up to the 70s, and then after that, well, maybe that's when the Detroit, thing happened. So it was like he couldn't afford the good guys, the really good talent.
Wait,
So
was
he
the
had
Detroit thing a joke, or is there actually a Justice League Detroit?
there's actually a Justice League Detroit.
Shut
It's
up.
like,
No. Really?
yeah.
I
It's
thought
like
that was a joke.
it's a nickname. I mean, the title wasn't called Justice League Detroit,
Yeah.
but they had like a Gypsy and oh my gosh,
This is real?
yeah, what was her name? The chick that turned into animals. I don't remember. They
Oh,
were so
Vixen.
Vixen, yeah. Yeah, it was so bad. And
Vibe?
look, just the vibe. Just to sell books, they had to put the ghost image of all the cool characters up there.
Steel.
Gypsy, Vixen, Vibe.
Oh, Vibe he's Latinx, as Billy Tucci always says.
Well, that a Latinx is a girl, right?
No, as in Latinx. I'm joking because like.
Oh, okay. I always think a Latinx is like a female Latin.
No, that's Latinx is supposed to be because it's sexist if you say Latino or Latina, so you have to rewrite their entire language.
Okay. In my day, they actually called them Chicano.
Yeah, no, we're told that that's offensive now.
Well, I'm sure it is somehow.
Yeah, so it's just making you a better person, Art.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I had no idea how racist and everything else I was until I came on your show. So
I didn't realize either. I learned in college. One time I was in college and they were watching an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and then all the white kids in my class said that it was problematic because it wasn't authentic to the black experience because they weren't poor enough. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
I was like, that's not racist. I was like, that's not racist. I was like, is no one? Yeah, that's like really racist.
Well, that's a major assumption. It's like there are no successful black people in America. They're all broken and poor.
Yeah, they were saying this, and I was just like, oh my god.
That's when you wish you had your video camera on.
I was like, I can't believe that this is being said. But no, I do love when people say stuff like that. It's very funny to me. Because at what point you have to just laugh at it.
Well, and probably all these people that were saying that in your class were all white people.
We're all white, all of them.
So they're going to straighten out the few and tell them what an authentic black experience is based on not being black.
Yeah. I texted my black friends during this. I'm like, yo, you guys won't believe what this shit I just heard in class. And they're like, oh my god.
Yeah, my daughter's probably a little older than you, but she went to college probably around the same time as you. And my gosh, liberal arts college, man, just the teachers, just a bunch of wackadoos, and they had stress puppies and what were they called?
Quiet rooms or crime rooms or something? I don't know.
Rooms or something like that. Safe space. Yeah. Safe spaces and all kinds of nutty stuff like that. To basically prepare these kids for the harshness of the real world, where stress puppies do exist, and
really, the harshness. Yeah.
Wait a minute, I can't cope. Does anybody have a puppy?
That's what I do, and then there's always someone walking by who has one, and that's how the real world works.
So then you just kind of, bend down, pick up their dog, a stranger's dog, and just start petting it.
Yeah, that's how.
Do you talk baby talk to the dog? Like,
oh God, ew! I can't even jokingly say that. It's so gross. Well, this generation's your fault. It's absolutely not my fault. I tried my best.
Oh, he says, Vaughn, it's your fault. Yeah, it is your fault, Vaughn. It's not my fault.
Oh man, sorry guys. Art college made my buddy join the army. I believe it.
My daughter is so cool. She rebelled against it. So with every fiber of her being. So when they asked her to do like really ridiculous stuff, like write like really liberal like reports and stuff like that, she would just kind of lower the boom, just add a little bit of reality to it that they didn't want to hear. And she still did, she still excelled. She still did well, in school. She got her scholarships. So she did it her way. And then she'd just come home and tell my wife and I all the craziness that happened that day. And we go, just do the work. Just do the work. Get through.
Yeah, I mean, there was a certain point where I kind of stopped, but I would occasionally say something. I had some crazy experiences at college. One time I wore an American flag bandana to class, not really thinking of it, just because. And then they looked at me like I was wearing a swastika. I'm like, we're in America, man. Like,
yeah,
it's so weird. But luckily,
real quick, we lived in California. I was born and raised in California, so we left.
I'm so sorry.
4 years ago, we live in the great state of Texas right now, and I'll tell you, there were people that would have their flags, like American flags, outside of their houses hanging all over the place. People would fly them on the back of their pickup trucks and things like that. And I was like, that California in me, I was like, oh my gosh, these people are going to get crucified. Like I kept thinking like, oh, these people are going to get their asses handed to them. And then I was like, oh, no, that's how it is in California. Here, you can do it. And so you know what I did over the 4th of July, Vaughn?
What?
I went out and bought, I had fun, and I bought a bunch of American flags and put them around the front yard. Yeah,
nice. That's fun, man. That's crazy. Yeah, California's nuts. It's really nuts.
They used to call it in the day like fruits and nuts. It's the land of fruits and nuts, and boy, did they earn that reputation.
Well. It's just so nuts. But I definitely want to read Black and White. That book looks great. This sketchbook looks amazing. I might have to back this. I'm trying not to spend all of my stuff, but I definitely want this. The sketchbook looks amazing. You guys should definitely check it out. Art, where's the best place everyone can find you?
I'm on YouTube. It's just my name. If you just type my name in, I don't use code names or anything like that. A lot of that will show up. So I'm on X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I got a YouTube channel. This week, I'm hosting The Professional. So that's going to be Tuesday at 7 Eastern Standard Time. That's usually a time we go live. That's a show I do with Aaron Lepresti, Graham Nolan, Andy Smith, Billy Tucci, and Daniel Frega. So we usually talk pop culture, comic books, all that kind of good stuff. So that's going to be this Tuesday. And you know what we're going to talk about this Tuesday?
What?
We're going to talk about art books.
Nice. That's awesome. I'll swing by Tuesday. Let me make sure I have it marked. Because Billy was yelling at me for not being in the chat enough. And I was like, I'm sorry, I was working. So
yeah, Billy likes to yell at people.
He does. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Well, listen, I do the same thing to him. So maybe he's taking it
out. There's a little, like your little Billy Tucci in training here. Yeah, I've noticed.
Yeah, what's funny is Dan Panosian thought I was Billy's son. Because I go to conventions with Billy all the time. And Dan was like, he's like, I saw your wrestling thing. Congrats. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, your dad Billy posted about it. I'm like, I'm my dad. But,
so Billy's old enough to be your dad.
I guess so. Yeah, I should tell him he's old.
Well, he's old enough, I guess, to have you as a son.
Yeah, I mean, his son's around my age, a little younger. So.
Wait a minute. So you graduated college, or are you still?
Yeah, I graduated. Thankfully, good Lord.
So you're mid-20s, somewhere around there?
24, yeah.
Okay, so you graduate. Yeah, so you just graduated maybe a year or so?
2022, I graduated.
Okay, so you went right in after high school then?
Yeah. I went to film school. That's what I did.
Okay. What school? Where do you live? Do you mind?
Emerson College. Yeah, no, I live in New Jersey.
Okay.
Central, right by the shore. So that's why I'm able to see, like, Billy is often in cons in this area. So that's why I'm always able to hang out with Billy, because he's always doing the local New York cons.
Yeah, I just thought maybe you were just kind of loitering on his property. Looking at stuff.
No, he'll be like, come to this convention. I'll be okay.
You're knocking on the door. Hey, can Billy come out to play? Yeah, you got to get hunting with Billy. You got to shoot.
I should. I got a gun not that long ago.
Shoot some pheasants or something, or some deer.
I'll have to ask him. I'll have to go hunting with him.
You should start small though, like shoot some birds first, and then shoot a deer.
Well, like you should start by killing small animals.
Like, yeah, because
all good men start.
That's
how all good men start. Hunting small animals, and then can graduate. Yeah, that's what I think Billy's doing. Maybe he's on a serial killer arc right now.
He's working his way up to human.
Yeah, bit by bit, he's making his way there. He'll start making like really strange posts on social media. They're like, "That's cryptic. What does that mean?"
Yeah, he'll invite people over, like for a barbecue, and then he'll just kind of say, "You got an hour," and they'll say, "What do you mean? Run. You got an hour to run," and then I'm going to after you.
Oh gosh, should I be expecting that? Like a text from him? I'll just get a message. He's like, "Hey, come over for dinner." I'll be like, "It's all right, Billy. Don't worry."
Okay, Art told me all about it.
Yeah, Art revealed your plan.
Yeah.
I've never been to Billy's.
Billy is the salt of the earth. He would never do anything like this. Yeah, it's all a joke.
It's all a joke. He would never kill people. We don't know anything about where they're buried. You don't know anything about that. And anyone who says we do.
Wait a minute. It's like you're contradicting yourself there, Vaughn.
No. Billy would never do anything bad.
No, it's one of those things.
No evidence.
Billy would never shoot me.
He would never. He's never attempted to shoot me.
To me, yeah, but I don't know. I don't know about anybody else.
Now, if someone else were to get targeted, I would know about it.
I would know about it. Billy would tell me, because Billy can't hide anything.
He can't. No, he actually can't though. Like he'll tell me. Like I asked him about a project off the cuff, and he goes, "Don't tell anyone about that." I'm like, I didn't even know you were working on that until you reacted that.
Yeah, I just made.
He's like, it's secret. Don't. But I'm not like he actually. If you ask him, like what he's working on, he'll be like, "You can't tell anyone about." I'm like, I just didn't know you were working on a secret project until you.
Yeah,
that one.
This was a bluff, Billy. I was just playing around.
No, it wasn't even a bluff. I just was casually asking, and then he would just be like, reveal secret projects he's working.
You know what, Vaughn? You'd think he'd be closer and more honest with his son.
You would think so. You would think so.
He'd let you in on some things, living under the same roof as him and everything.
Yeah, exactly. You would think.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah.
But no, it's Billy. It's been fun hanging out with him. Bill, two professionals. I haven't met you or Aaron yet, but
okay, yeah, because we were always like West Coasters, and so now I'm somewhere in the middle. But I don't really travel too much. It seems like, one, my back is really jacked, but another, it's just
like back is jacked. Are you huge?
My back is jacked.
You huge?
No, it's not jacked that way. It's messed up. Yeah. It's weird. Like language is hard, right?
Yeah, for some people. Well, I guess you're an artist, so you don't need to.
Wait a minute. That's not like an insult.
No. I'm saying you don't need to. It's okay.
You don't need to.
You're not writing black and white, are you?
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No. All right. No, then you're writing. Your real English is fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh my gosh, you do. You kind of have that poker face like Billy, yeah.
Oh, like Billy? You think Billy has a poker? I don't think Billy has a poker face at all.
He can, like he got us a few times on the Bros. Like he'll just kind of tell a lie, and then he won't break character.
Really?
And then we'll be into it, and then he'll go, no, it didn't happen.
I heard he got you with my SawCon. He got you guys with my SawCon joke.
What was the SawCon joke?
Well, it's not really a joke. It's more just, all right. So we were hanging out at. Have you ever been to SawCon?
Nope.
Do you know what SawCon is?
Nope.
SawCon these nuts.
Oh, okay. There you go.
That's what it is.
Well, I'm glad I said no to all those things.
I know you weren't falling for it. I was trying to get you to answer. Okay. So
there's always some guy that's like, yeah, I've been there a few times, and then you're like, oh, really? That made it place?
Yeah, no. I've gotten him with that same exact joke 5 times.
He's just giving it to you. He's a
No,
generous.
he finally learned after the 5th time.
Well, when you said, "Have you ever been to the show?" What did you say? Yes.
No, I'll ask him. I say, "Hey, Bill, you're going to a lot of cons because we meet at a lot of cons, so it's very easy." So I just go, "Oh, are you going to SawCon?" And he goes, "What's SawCon?" And then I just suck on these nuts.
Oh, okay.
That's how I
So it
get it.
doesn't matter how you respond. It's still the sock on these nuts is always
Yeah,
going to.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right, it's unavoidable. Well, you have to.
It's going to happen one
It's
way or another.
checkmate. It's checkmate.
It's checkmate.
Well, I got Andy Smith during my interview with him.
You got him on the side. Wait, how'd you get Andy?
I
Did he
just
say
asked
yeah?
him if he was going to SawCon. He was like, "What's SawCon?" And I said, "SawCon these nuts."
Well, see, that's not really getting Andy.
I think it is. He felt got.
Is it if it's that important to you, Vaughn? Then yeah, you
No,
got it.
it's I'm just picking up what's being put down.
But just for the record, you didn't get me.
Yeah, I didn't get you. No, I'm not. I didn't get you.
No.
I did not get you.
You're probably going to tell the story that you got me.
No, I didn't because there's video evidence. I can't lie about it.
Yeah, but you could just.
Well, I
delete
could. I could just delete the stream and just gaslight the audience.
The evidence will be,
I'll doctor the footage in my favor. I would remove a yes you said earlier. Yeah. Nah.
It wouldn't be the first time somebody did that to my response on something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did Bleeding Cool do an article on you?
Yeah, they did actually.
I'm sure they were very unbiased and kind to you.
Yeah, they were. It was all trumped up. So I got to
what up?
Trump.
You can't say that word.
You can't say that anymore.
You can't say that.
Yeah, apparently I got accused of laughing at somebody's cancer. So there was a cancer joke that was on one of Ethan's streams.
Mm-hmm.
And so somebody isolated it and then put me in the shot from somewhere else where I was laughing. And so it's like one of those smash cuts, like, oh, here's the joke.
Wait, so you weren't even there on the stream?
So I was there. So I was wearing the same clothes and everything, but
they moved the footage so you were laughing.
Yeah. Yeah. So then I'm like, like that. And then it's like, oh, see, Art laughed. And you know that stand-up comedian, Patton Oswalt?
Yeah.
Even he chimed in and threw me under the bus.
Man, does he know who you were? Was he like, oh man, I like this guy's comics?
And now I don't. Yeah, that's yeah. He's gonna avoid now.
I should change outfits multiple times a stream to avoid this.
That would probably be a good idea.
Yeah.
Or wear masks.
Oh, that could be good.
Yeah.
I could change my name legally every couple streams.
We could shake things up and just constantly change our name during the live stream.
Yeah, I don't think that would be good for business though.
Yeah, but it'd be good to blame somebody else. Like you could actually say, like right now, you could say like Vaughn Tucci.
Yeah. And then Billy could take the blame for.
And then for raising such
like really raise this kid, Billy.
Yeah.
This is your parenting at work. That could be good. That could be real. I could do
that would work.
Damage.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Believe it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I'm sure Billy will really appreciate this. Plotting against them on it.
Yeah, Billy doesn't appreciate anything I do.
Wow, you heard it here, folks. Billy Tucci exposed.
We should do that. Just ragging on other people.
Make up fake stories about the time Billy was mean to you.
Billy was never mean to me.
I know, that's how you have to make something up. Billy didn't like my post that one time.
Wow. I cried for days. So we're not selling anything right now. So hey, everybody, some doodles and other stuff too.
Yeah.
This is the new campaign.
Oh, sorry. Let me put it. We were going to end the stream, and then I forgot to end the stream because we were talking about Billy.
You thought we were talking off stream.
No, right? I didn't. No, we were about to. I was like, where can everyone find you? And then that led to a conversation. Oh, look at that. We got one new backer in here.
Oh, sweet. Well,
wow. Vaughn Coleman's show is profitable. This is proof.
Yeah. I was thinking like this wasn't going to go anywhere, but now, maybe there's some hope. Maybe there's some hope for you.
Yeah, maybe there is some hope for me.
Hey, your books, by the way, look fantastic.
Thank you.
I haven't read anything, but the artists that you're working with, they're definitely making you look good.
Yeah, no, that's the problem with being a writer who hasn't proven myself is I have to keep telling people, guys, my writing is really good, I promise. And people have to just go, yeah, I'm sure, man. Because no one has any proof. Like, what can I say? Like, my writing is, like I don't have.
Well, you believe in yourself, and that's important at this moment in time.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's enough people that have said, yeah, he might be right. So that's good.
He might be right. They give you the benefit of the doubt. They back
it. It could be good. I mean, maybe it'll be good.
No, the thing is, like, I was close with Marv Wolfman for a while, and he used to tell me, like a comic book writer, it's the description, it's the panel stuff. Like, you usually don't get credit for that. But you're telling a story. So you're basically telling the artist what to draw. Oh, thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. Thank you. And you know what? So you're telling the artist, overhand right punches the guy across the jaw, that kind of thing. Oh, it's a fire. They're saving, a dog from, this fire in this apartment building. Like, all that stuff, those descriptions are all written, So it's thankless work, right? Because no one's ever going to see your descriptions of the story. They're only going to know you by your dialogue. And so so just know, you guys, when you get one of the Vince's book or Vaughn's book, you're gonna get to see, like, all those images that came out of his head, and he told basically the artist, who's just, I mean, let's face it, artists are just like robots, they don't really think. They just kind of do what the writer tells them to do.
I don't endorse this message about my artist. I mean, it depends. If it's someone else's artist, then yes, I endorse this message. But not.
Okay, but if they're working with Vaughn, then Vaughn tells them nothing, and they do whatever.
Oh, okay, never mind. I do endorse this message. Actually,
they do
whatever gives me most creative power and credit.
See, there you go. There you go. That's how you do it. Yeah, you're getting hit to this. Yeah, Billy's raised you well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but yeah, you guys, once again, like that early bird special, we have 2 of them, and by the end of the night, they are going bye-bye. So if you want to get a free pit print, back those today. Don't delay, because at the end of the night, they're going away. You hear that?
Yeah.
That'll rhyme.
No, this looks incredible. So everyone, make sure you get this book. And follow Art on all socials. So this has been great. I'm glad we finally talked, because I got to reach out to Aaron at some point too, just to complete the professionals. And they'll have all you guys.
So you've had everybody. You've had. Well, have you had Dan Frega?
Oh, I haven't had him on. Sorry, I've talked to him in real life, but no, I haven't had Dan on my show. I should be like, Dan, come on my show.
Yeah, he'll do it. He's a good guy. Aaron, I can't. I don't think Aaron will do it.
You don't think so? You think he doesn't trust? Well, that's a shame. I did say in the professionals chat, I want to point out, you guys totally ignored me, but I said, I was like, oh, Aaron, I like the way you drew Wonder Woman when I was in middle school. Middle school Vaughn really appreciated that as a developing man, and then he ignored that comment.
Sounds like Aaron.
Unbelievable. I was giving him a compliment.
Hey, at that point, you got to go, you know who I am? I'm Billy Tucci's kid.
I'm going to, in the chat, I'm going to go as Vaughn Tucci on the professional.
Vaughn Tucci. That sounds kind of like a swashbuckler name. Like Vaughn Tucci. Like you'd be good with the rapier.
The what?
Oh, you heard
the rapier, the sword. I was like, what?
Oh, you heard me. You're just pretending to get me in trouble.
No, I would never do that. What's up, Wolf?
Wolf and Bear, yeah. You know who Wolf and Bear are? That's John, Malin, and myself.
Oh, I thought it was just a wolf and a bear. That was the animals.
No.
It's people? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, on that note, guys, thank you so much for coming on. Have a great rest of your night. And as we close out, I'm going to play the trailer for my incredible comic book that my robots drew for me. So,
yeah.
Take care. When the whole world was dragged into World War III, brave men like my father fought on the front lines. And they weren't alone. That was 20 years ago. Now it's up to us to carry on their legacy. And every so often, the earth from which we come gives way for something new, something greater to be born. And with them, even greater threats to face. Bring it on! Phenomenova. For you, Dad. For you.